Well, hello guys, it's Sean and I am here without Mitch today, and you may be wondering what the heck is going on with the angles here. Well, let me tell you, I have my phone precariously balanced taking pictures of the screen because the Xbox app is broken. Yes, it does not record properly for the time being. When they released the last update for the app, I guess it's messed up. And what's interesting is the app on their website lists like a version number starting with 19, and the app on the system lists a version number starting with 24. So I don't really know what's up with all that, but the point is I can't record in my usual fashion using the Windows DVR, the Xbox app. Hopefully the quality of this turns out alright, that I can use, that you guys can still see what I'm doing. Today we're heading into the new place here, Starlight Refuge. It's been a couple months since I actually recorded that last video, even though I just uploaded it earlier. Mitch hasn't been around in a while. Oh, look, there's a Moogle. Oh my gosh, it's such a cute little Moogle. Anyways, so here's our time portal, and we're here in Starlight Refuge. Ooh, and that is the sound. Hang on a second, let me drop it down a little. So this is also this is Twilight Town. It's based on Twilight Town from Kingdom Hearts, and the music is Twilight Town by Project Destati, sorry. Check them out if you haven't already, from, Radiant Citadel and all that. Really cool. And these are all Final Fantasy characters that were in Kingdom Hearts. This is Waka here, or Zack Fair, walking across the gates here. But this is Traverse Town, and it's not quite the same grand scale of imposing awesomeness as Radiant Citadel. Or this is Starlight Refuge in my world, I call it, but it's my own rendition. Basically, you have this whole setup here. This is the first district, and you've got the whole little item shop here. I did change a few things up with the placement of things, like the accessory shop, and the scales aren't quite like they are in Kingdom Hearts. But you get the idea, they're houses and stuff. It's similar in style to Radiant Citadel as far as the architecture. Oh, look, you've got the synthesis shop here. You've got the second district we're in now. All this is based on the Kingdom Hearts 1 Traverse Town. In this older section, all these little rooms here, they're not in the right colors or anything. There's the alleyway back here. You've got the underground waterway. Let's see. Oh, you got the Dalmatian's house run underneath the Gizmo shop. Although, again, I just... basically, when I talk about these designs, I'm going for a functional thing that's based on the game. Now, that's not in the game, and that leads into the fountain court that was introduced in Dream Drop Distance. Oh, look, more characters. Oh, I added the characters that were from Destiny Islands in Kingdom Hearts to Traverse Town here, because Destiny Islands in my storyline doesn't fit that. But basically, here's the third district here, and you've got these three also. Some of the characters that were in Radiant Garden in Kingdom Hearts 2 were moved here as well. Basically, I picked characters from where they were and put them where I wanted them. Again, this is set in the past of my world, so this is during the height of the Ancients Empire. You've got a rendition of Merlin's house here and a map. It is much smaller than Radiant Garden is, aesthetically. Is that map not updated? It looks like that map is still set when there were no trees. I'll show you what I mean. But this is supposed to be Merlin's house from the game. This leads to the underground waterway, which means the other one leads to the throne room under here. Story-wise, this is Xehanort's place, actually, because Xehanort is the one who runs this town in my storyline. So here's the back streets from Dream Drop Distance, and I got a little messed up because I hadn't played the game when I first started building this, and now that I have, I realize how really messed up I was here with the design. But again, I kind of just did my own thing. There should be 2 characters standing here. There should be. They're not, though. I don't know why. But yeah, you get the whole waterways here and just the design of the thing. I built this over the course of several months, actually. I don't know where those characters are. Oh well, I guess they're somewhere. Maybe we'll come back and find them later. But yeah, we're just traveling along here. Here's the fountain court entryway, and none of these buildings really have anything but just generic structure stuff in them, really. You know, all the different things I use for houses here. You've got the heart fountain here. You've got, I don't know what this is. I guess it's the back end of the gizmo shop, which I didn't go into, so I'm going to do that real quick, actually. I've got the whole, shifting, there's redstone contraptions in here and all kinds of interesting things. Well, not all, actually all that interesting, but, I guess this would be the back half of that, and there's a bank here with, one of the World Ends With You characters running it. You've got reception desk, I guess, and then this leads down to the town's library. And inside the library is, in fact, none other than, if he's in here right now, which it doesn't look like he is because the NPCs aren't loading for whatever reason, and he's here. Xehanort, in his Birth by Sleep form. There's a couple other interesting characters roaming around this place. Not that I can find any of them, because God forbid that it would be so easy. Let me see if these ones loaded now, that things are loading again. No? Did I remove them or something? I don't know what happened exactly. There are things are not as they should be. Oh, here's Neku from The World Ends With You here, roaming around town. Here we have a house that belongs to, in my storyline, Naminé, and she has statues of each of the Organization 13 members here, not that they're known. Story-wise, she's a seer who's, you know, predicting the future here. These are all data on the different members. Anyway, she's trying to foresee who will destroy the world coming forward. This is the actual, this is my own rendition. This isn't quite canonical. It doesn't fit the exact design. But again, I wanted something that was a little more of a functional design. This is meant to be the mail room, I think it's called in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. And all of these boxes contain all kinds of different materials and stuff. Some of them contain things like the organization robes. Others contain innocent things like currencies, iron ores and materials. Occasionally they'll contain weapons. I'm not coming across any weapons ones. This is kind of a cool thing I did here. This is the first time I tried animating in the game. And the whole idea here is you need to parkour up here to get past this, because it's blocked off from down below. Although I guess technically it's not anymore. Oh yeah, I guess it still is. And you have to actually jump across this without getting hit. Somewhere in here... Oh, look, there's some fire charge weapons. And the whole thing is it's kind of just a big maze of boxes and packaging, and it takes forever to navigate. And then you come back out here, hit the button, and you're back in the first district. Flying over all that, if you go through the fountain court and come out the other end of it, you'll be in the 4th district here. Not really much to see. You got the little lighthouse here with the... I decided to put the town's power station underneath there, and the grid, the network that runs all that, and all that, blah, 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 blah. Here you have Beat and Rhyme from The World Ends With You running a shop of some kind. I don't really know what. You have Auron, this will eventually be a Coliseum entrance. Right now it's just a building. But yeah, he's there. He's even missing his arm. Well, not missing, it's tucked up right there, but... and then last characters to see here, this is the 5th district. It's kind of just... Again, I tried to base all this on a map I had of the Dream Drop Distance Traverse Town and then the KH1 version, and it didn't go too well. But we have younger, or Destiny Islands version, Sora and Riku here. Kind of just the interesting designs. I don't know if it was like this last time, but the characters can now have these little, like, bobble things in their eyes. And they can blink, too, if you just caught them blinking. And that's kind of an interesting feature. I really like it. Just for its aesthetic, I suppose. I'm kind of a person who likes aesthetics, but I also like the functional aspects of the town. Like I said, it functions as a perfectly viable capital city if you were to use it for like an RPG or something. And I guess that these... Oh, there they just appeared out of nowhere. Look at that. They just appeared. You have Vanitas here and Joshua. And again, the idea being that all Keyblade wielders and other... and basically Square Enix original characters are independent entities here, even if they're actually the same person in their respective games, such as Vanitas and Ventus, or people like Xion and Roxas, yada yada, etc., etc. But everyone here is actually individual entities, and that's just for my story-wise. It's the way I wrote it. It's the way it was written. I don't know if this house has any more detail. Oh, I guess it's a little more detailed. It has the boxes instead of chests. This was the abandoned house, and eventually the house that the gang uses in KH1. Now, we're going to travel elsewhere. So, first thing I need to do is run the teleport function to this location. And then I need to fix the time. Set 12:50. So, it's nice mid-afternoon. And this is my next project. It's still in development, so you guys are getting a sneak peek. Well, not really sneak peek. I'll show it on the channel event. This whole thing's on the channel. But this is going to be my rendition of Twilight Town, known as the Twilight Sanctuary. So far, I just have the station complete, and I did my own thing with it as well. I don't know how long this video is getting. It's probably going to be longer than any of my others. I feel like the tower kind of got crapped out near the end. This was one of the last things I did on the station, actually, was this tower here. But, I mean, still got a nice look to it, and you can sit here and look at the sunset, just like Roxas and Roxas, Axel, and Xion. You got the nice plaza down there and the entrance. I downloaded a new mod for this that adds extra stairs and slabs for blocks that don't have them. Other than that, I tried to stick pretty much with the design. This got out of hand. It's a lot bigger than I planned it to be. I only planned the thing to maybe go to about here, which is why it's way out over the middle of the ocean like this, because I only planned it to go out to that little island there. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually creating terrain around that to get it up off the ocean, basically. I've been building this cliff here. This is all hand placed, by the way. Every single block in this build is hand placed so far. I haven't used any commands. And yeah, I've just been randomly placing blocks kind of for this. No sound file yet for this. I haven't decided on which one I want. I have a couple different versions of Lazy Afternoons I'm thinking of using, including the piano edition one from the Kingdom Hearts piano collections. I did my own thing with the roofs here, by the way. I'm showing them off as I talk. The jazz version of Lazy Afternoons by the Consoles, which are another great group. Check them out. Or the Project Estati version of Lazy Afternoons and Afternoon Streets combined. It's the Lazy Afternoon Streets. However, I use Afternoon Streets for another town, so I'm not sure I want to do that, but this is just kind of my design here on the build exterior. I looked in Kingdom Hearts, and actually, they just have a big flat brick roof over it. If you look behind them in the scene where it's zooming in on Roxas and the gang on the clock tower. Not Axel and Xion, but the other group from the beginning of KH2. But there are skylights in here so that I didn't have to light up the ceiling on the inside. And we're going to go inside now. And I'll show you the inside of this while it's... This building interior, I'd like to say, is completely finished. I don't plan on doing anything else with it. But here's a nice lobby, and you got the entryway here, ticket booth. The trains, which were a very big pain in the butt to build. Can you say butt on YouTube? Probably. The tracks, I'm using iron stair for them. I'm not really sure. It's... Again, a lot of the aesthetic choices, you kind of have to make them because, you know, you don't really have a choice. The clocks are all set to this kind of like 6:10, 6:15-ish setting. Here's another example of my animation skills to create fans behind the vents here. I did fill in the ceiling with all the piping and duct work that's in KH2, and in fact had the game open and was referencing it the whole time through. A lot of the scales and proportions are a bit off here, and this whole thing looks a bit longer than it does in the game. In the game, there's only one track here, and it doesn't actually show the track, but it only looks wide enough for one train to pass through. except for you see two passing in opposite directions at the same time, which is why there's two tracks here. Not really sure any of you care about that, but now I mentioned it. I've got several different trains here, and you can enter them. However, it's a big pain in the butt to reseal them after I do, so I'm not going to. But they've even got cabs where you can sit drivers, and I plan on just having commands that when you walk up to this, it'll take you to where you're supposed to go. There's a bit of a repair, or there will be a repair room here. Right now it's just a big empty room, but I'm planning on putting a couple boxes in here and kind of storage stuff. This is basically the town's power station, but it's also kind of a control room. That switches the position of this, really. That's all it does. I'll probably add an actual power area somewhere in this build, because I've got a lot of blank space actually underneath the exterior walls, because I wanted to even them out, and so I could actually do quite a bit with this, and probably will when the time comes. For now, though, I'm just hand placing the blocks and building out this groundwork over here. And again, I've just been kind of working on the tower, bit by bit by bit. Or not the tower, but the ground around it, I guess, now. And that's the station so far. Anyways, hope you guys liked the video, and please like and subscribe if you want to see more content. I'll try and get things up more regularly now that things aren't so busy. Well, I mean, things are still busy, but not too busy. That just about sums it up, I think. And again, sorry for the poor quality of the video and audio, I suppose, if they turn out badly. Again, I can't record with my usual software, and that's driving me nuts. So in the meantime, enjoy the view, and I will see you guys later.